Yeah. Yeah.
Look at me.
Benchmark, they're speaking the facts that you wanna hear. That rapper jersey, the vision is clear. Diamonds glisten like a chandelier. You know what I'm here for, like Michelle Lynch. At clutch time, we do not flinch. Real brothers, we do not switch. Hit home runs with the right pitch. Who run the city? What to do when they hating on you? I feel like Kobe 2010. I taking an L, all I need is a win. Business is business, you know how they go. You playing the seats, now it's time to grow. Tuning now, gotta be in the know. Showtime, bitch, my about to blow.
I ain't seen from now. Miles, you really did not tell you.
Benchmark Podcast. What's up, bro?
Yo, guess who's back? Back again. Bench Mob is back here tonight. Been looking forward to this all day. Greg, Mr. Hot Takes and Sins Mir, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm doing a lot better now than I was before. So I'm good.
Released a big load and everything like that. CJ CJ Moneybags, how you doing tonight?
I can't be laughing.
I'm good. Happy to be back with y'all, man. Talking about sports. It's been a minute. It's been over a month since we've been back together. But I'm good, man.
And Miles, smooth operator. We always outside Davenport.
El Chingo.
How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. It's been a minute, I feel like I haven't been on the show in a minute and got to get up with my guys for a little, right?
It's been a while. I'm gonna keep you updated. Chicago up 3 right now. 5:54 left. They up 3 on the Knicks.
I would just not keep them updated if I were you. I'll just stop.
He gonna start sweating as the show going.
It's not a good idea.
Yo, so I gotta start off with this one. Everybody was talking about it. Suns on a 17-game winning streak right now. They're playing Detroit tonight, and I think we're all safe to say that it'll be 18. Are the Suns the best team in the West, and are they the best team in the league?
Yes and yes. I mean, we could expand. I didn't want to disagree to start out. No, you don't think they caught a lucky break against the Warriors? You think that was a fluke?
We're gonna find out because they're playing them again in what, next week on the 13th?
They play them on Friday.
They flexed their game over the Lakers game. They flexed
Smart.
the Lakers Clippers out.
That's a smart business
LeBron's
decision.
back.
That's a smart business, but it's Lakers Clippers. So we get to see LeBron, Russ, AD. But what we seeing, Paul George and Eric Bledsoe?
We're doing Paul George and Reggie Jackson, actually.
Reggie Jackson, who hasn't looked like the same Reggie Jackson in the playoffs. Shout out to the Clippers for not giving him a big payday.
Whenever Antonio says Reggie Jackson didn't look, I get PTSD. I feel like he's all the credit.
Man, well, Mikhail Bridges, we got shout out to him. He held Curry to his worst shooting night of his career, 4 for 21. He did similarly to Harden on that Saturday night. He went 4 for 15, 0 for 6 from 3, 7 turnovers. And as a team, this is the first time that Golden State scored under 100 points. I think the Suns, I know. I was like, yeah, they about to struggle this year. Playoffs, I ain't take it serious. They not going to have that same success. I don't know, man. I might have to eat my words on that. They are looking like the best team right now in the league, like across the board. Forget the West. It's in the West, you already know, is them, Golden State, and Utah. Everybody else is, as of right now, it's like, all right, it's a crapshoot.
I love when y'all do this. Well, I'll say this. We're not going to talk about the whole West because it's a question about the Suns. The reason why the Suns are the best team in the West to me is it makes a big difference. And they haven't paid it, mind you. I think they should pony up and pay him because I think they can throw the ball down there to download to him and get easy baskets. They can play high-low. They can get the ball into the post and kick it out to their shooters. They got a lot of different ways they can hurt you offensively, and then he helps defensively. He anchors his defense too. And they got Mikhail Bridges is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I think he got paid, though.
He got paid. Rightfully so.
Yeah, he is worth every dime. I think it was like a $90 million deal. But
worth
he is worth every dime, maybe even more. Just how special he is defensively. He got a couple steals in that game. He hits threes at a high clip. Get to the middle of the floor. I love that. The composition of that team is made perfectly, and they're anti everything the NBA has been about over the last couple of years. In the last couple of years, you talk about these super teams like the Nets, and you get these 3 stars, and you kind of just make everything else work around you. That team is literally the perfectly composed basketball team that would compete in any era. because they got their big, they got their wing defender, their wing 3 and D guy, they got their point guard who can get a bucket whenever and just orchestrate the offense, and they have their 2 guard who can score whenever, wherever on the floor. It does not matter. And he's one of the best closers in basketball. They have 2 of the best closers in basketball on the team too. And they have another 3 and D guy in Jay Crowder. They're complete. They're a really complete team. They're better than the Warriors. They really are.
For now.
I think when Clay
if you
comes
add
back.
Clay, so let's do it. If you add Clay, are the Warriors better? And mind you, Clay's coming off that injury, so you don't know what he's going to be.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but you still got to respect Clay as a shooter.
I'm not disrespecting Clay. I think this one's still better.
No, I'm not saying disrespect. I'm saying when Clay's on the court, you like as a player, you got to pay him that respect.
Yeah.
If he's in
I
the
think
corner.
I think to your point, you already said it though. Like I think Clay being back is going to be huge for them.
Mhm.
But when you see them in a 7-game series, let's say it's Golden State Phoenix, the issue that they don't have an answer for is DeAndre Ayton.
Facts.
James Wiseman ain't cutting it. Who else they gonna have as an option? We gonna use Belicha off the bench.
They've been doing that. They've been doing it, and that's why I thought they were going to lose that game. While I had all that hype, I'm like, I think the Suns are. I don't think the Suns are going to have a particularly hard time beating this team. They again, if Steph struggles, they go as Steph goes. Poole has been really a great story, and Poole could have changed the game. He's a really good offensive player, but he's not as reliable as Clay is because at his best. And you're playing small against a team that can punish you, and they don't take Ayton off the floor when you go small. They don't do that.
Nope. And something you just said though, you mentioned how the Suns are basically anti everything with the NBA right now. They don't have the 3 superstars and the crazy contracts. They have a pretty well-rounded team from top to bottom.
Yep.
Should stars, you think, and this is obviously a question to everybody, should they consider taking pay cuts similar to what Tom Brady has done in football? Throw some stats out there. Brady has estimated have left between $60 million to $100 million on the table. During his tenure with the Pats, they went 249 and 75. Brady was only the top 5 paid quarterback 6 times in his career, and only once was the actual highest paid quarterback. Lakers, look at their cap situation. Russ, next season, player option for $47 million. LeBron, $44.5 million guaranteed next year. AD, $37.9 million guaranteed. Between those 3, they alone are about $129.5 million. The projected salary cap next year is $119. They're already $10 million over next year, without adding anybody else on the team.
The Lakers specifically.
The Nets in a little bit better situation. You got Harden getting 43.8 this year with a player option of 46.8. He hasn't re-upped yet, so that's probably going to be more. KD at 40.9 this year with 42.9 guaranteed next season. Kyrie 34.9 to stay at home as of right now with a player option of 36.5 next year. And Joe Harris, though, is also getting some nice change with 17.3 million this year and 18.6 next year.
Earned. I have to address the Nets fans at some point, by the way. Whenever we get a chance. I know that's not on the agenda. But
You have the floor. How did you want to address these Nets fans?
I see a lot of Nets fans on Twitter talking about, why would the Nets trade Kyrie? That's ridiculous. I was one of you guys. There's tape of me defending Kyrie. He came to our firm, and we chose to take up his case. And I've been working with the Kyrie team for a long time. But the reality is, the Nets have to win. Kyrie's not going to be here if he doesn't get vaccinated by Christmas for 2 reasons. One, the Nets are a win now team. They have to win right now because you have a guy in Harden who hasn't made a decision on whether or not he's going to stay.
He's going to Philly.
Huh?
He's going to Philly.
You and then you come to your show and you get stuff like that. That's ridiculous. But whatever. He's not going to Philly. Regardless, it's what you said was so crazy. I lost my train of thought. That was the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. If we could curse on this podcast, I would start cursing. I mean, they have to win now. Yeah, Harden's not signed. And to Miles' point, you guys have their suitors out there. You have other options. So you have to impress him enough to stay. 2, I don't know if people are paying attention, but the COVID landscape is what it is. That Omarion variant that's up there right now, this week.
What you call it?
The Omarion variant. We We don't know exactly what's going to happen with COVID, but one thing we can say for sure is that we don't see an end in sight. We don't see an end in sight. And in New York, you're still got to have to be vaccinated to go into indoor locations like Barclays, go to restaurants, things like that. So with that being said, Kyrie's not going to play for the Nets if he doesn't want to get vaccinated. There's no chance of it. So you have to trade him for the Nets. You have to. If we can get this team right now is constructed to be built around 2 stars, not 3. It's why they're losing games against these really good teams. They're not deep. When KD and when one of KD or Harden off the floor, you have a guy on the floor who shouldn't be playing. Cam Thomas is playing too many minutes right now. Or LaMarcus Aldridge is playing too many minutes. Or Paul Millsap. These are guys that are the end of your roster who are nice fill-in pieces who help you, yes, but they're not guys who play big minutes. They're not a big-time role player like a Mikhail Bridges. The Nets have to be more constructed to be like the Suns team, which is easier said than done. But you can go get guys like a Will Barton or Terrence Ross, guys who come off the bench and give you something every night, and you can expect that from them, like a real good role player. So the point is, they have to mold themselves to be built around 2 stars that are actually reliable instead of one guy who's not reliable and is at home or at Seton Hall games instead of being with the Nets right now. It's just a reality situation. I love Kyrie, but he's not going to be a Net if he doesn't get vaccinated by Christmas.
So alluding to that, perfect. Ring right back around. Should players like LeBron, a KD, a Harden take pay cuts to try to win?
It depends on how your team is constructed. If your team is constructed like the Suns, I think those guys don't have to take pay cuts per se. I know Chris Paul's never taken a pay cut, ever. Okay? So there's that. But when you're constructed the right way, your stars don't have to take a pay cut. When you come together as a team of 3, like the Miami Heat did, for example, those guys take pay cuts. They all did to make it work. Bosh.
And I think in this situation, we look at the Lakers, you tell me what you think, Miles. Next year, they're already $10 million over the salary cap. And at least we got to see a Nets team at some point. We saw, like Greg alluded to, they was deep at one point. They was deep when it was just Kyrie and KD. Oh, my gosh. We did healthy Nets with how that roster was. That should be a championship. This Lakers roster, add and Russ to the mix now. It's not enough money to go around. Somebody gonna have to take a pay cut. If y'all want to win, though. If y'all want to win, we can keep these 3 together, and we can keep adding Antonio and Greg and Miles to the roster on veteran minimum salaries, and keep adding us to the roster and not going anywhere.
I mean, I think if you're looking at the longevity of the team, you want guys to take a pay cut, and the Lakers, they're trying to win right now, so they kind of just force this big 3 together. And I mean, Russell Westbrook's not a fit, but they needed somebody else out there with LeBron and AD because they're trying to compete. But that leaves little wiggle room to bring in other people. So you're forced to bring in like Ariza, and I mean, they still don't have Kendrick Nunn back.
He's gonna be a big help for that team, man.
I hope so.
I'm telling you.
But I mean, it doesn't leave a lot of room for some of these teams to maneuver.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that if you're trying to win right now, then, go all in. But if you kind of see like a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, then you kind of have to have guys take a little less and then build on top of that. And that's where, drafting well comes into play. Like the Suns, they drafted well. They got Devin Booker. They took Mikhail Bridges. They got DeAndre Ayton. So there are a lot of pieces that, were brought in organically, kind of like the Warriors. So, I mean, you pay your big stars and everybody that makes an impact on the team, and then you try to, make the pieces fit where they do.
I'm not with ever counting another man's pockets. I know that's not something that, is solid. I'm just looking on the outside looking in for specifically a player like Bron. Out of the 2 teams we just mentioned, Bron's a completely different thing. Mentioning Bron. Hey, in the most respectful way possible, think you good off the court. I think your pockets is straight. It's projected you're probably going, once you retire, you're basically gonna be like Jordan. You're gonna be still making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and millions of dollars. Example that comes to my mind where you see it's lacking on their team. You tell me Bron couldn't shoot 5, 6, 7 mil over to Caruso that had Caruso be able to stay. You see what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I'm not with saying don't get your money. Go ahead, get your money. But if winning really is the main thing, you said a couple years ago, I'm chasing Mike. I'm chasing the ghost of Mike. I don't see you really chasing right now. It look like you doing a little power walking.
I think that's the only situation where it makes sense is if you're in win now mode, right? I'm not like Miles said, like for a 5-year plan, like it may make sense to take a little less. Me personally, I'm not I'm not sacrificing my dollars for a 5-year plan.
I completely agree.
Because at the end of the day, that's not guaranteed. We know things happen, players move on from teams, drama unfolds, and again, like the 5 years is a long time for things to go wrong, right?
That's exactly my point. Because I'm like, if you really are trying to win now, because you know your window, specifically LeBron, I'm talking here. Specifically LeBron, your window is probably 2 to 3 more years. 2 to 3 more solid years for championship contention. He could probably play for another 5-10, but championship contention. I'm looking like, hey, everybody praise Brady. Y'all be tweeting Brady the GOAT, did that, and the third. Why can't you take a page out of his book, Swagger Jack? Specifically, for example, Caruso, a Bron. He wanted maybe another 4 or 5 mil. You not gonna make that off the court, bruh. You make that in a month selling your sneakers. That type of stuff to me, and maybe this is different. Maybe this is different because I'm a Lakers fan. I'm looking at it different. But the roster is super thin. And I said this to Chris and Miles while Greg was, handling business on the toilet.
Yeah.
And Greg, I know you could attest to this. LeBron is great as he is at this point in his career. He cannot be the number one player every single night on this team, which is why AD was brought in, which is why Russ was brought in. And they both living in another time zone right now. This is like the Twilight Zone watching this. Teams that everybody knows they should beat. Even Vegas now are putting them sometimes as the underdog against like the Kings. Triple overtime games losing. It's like I'm living in the Twilight Zone watching this. You have AD.
Yeah, but
you have Russ.
That. They brought Russ in for that reason.
That's what I'm saying.
And he's playing inconsistently.
It's starting to happen though. I think we're a bit behind. I think it's starting to happen where like Russ is playing better. Russ is making better decisions. He's played good ball last week. Literally the last week he's played good ball. Like he has. Is it perfect? No, it's still a work in progress. But I would say it's starting to come together. But you're absolutely right. LeBron is not. He should not and cannot be the best player on the floor every single night. He shouldn't have to do that. He can be, but it's not good for the body. It's a wear and tear of being 37 years old, 20 years in the league.
Exactly. It was so beautiful that first game he came back. He's hitting those big buckets in Indiana, letting y'all know I'm still here. And the next game he wasn't able to play. And it's just like, he shouldn't have to do Indiana. We talking about?
Yeah, to beat them now. It's an AD thing more than it's a Russ thing.
I completely
on the same page about
I completely agree. Because before Russ even came into the picture, AD was bought here. That was the main reason we bought here. You were supposed to be 2021 version of Shaq and Kobe. That's what it was supposed to be. And right now, what is looking very much like is looking like Kobe with Kwame or Chris Mihm. Is up and down. Kwame might give you 20 and 15 one time, and Chris Mihm give you a double-double consistently. That's what it's doing. He looks uninterested, and he's chill. I got my ring. That's all I need. Y'all can hop off my Johnson. I have a ring. I got more than Chuck. And he's cool with it. Kappa facts, transitioning. Slowly but surely, name, image, and likeness will begin to affect the quality of play in college. Kappa facts.
Just listening to a podcast about this.
I heard some interesting takes with Paige Buchers and her NIL contracts, like with Gatorade. This is just my thought when seeing that. Kudos. Shout out to her. But every player in college, especially you gotta remember the age that they're at, they all not gonna be able to handle this money and still do their part. Because at that point, because they're getting money now, they're making money off of name, image, likeness. Which, by the way, we all agree on this. That's breadcrumbs because these coaches, which we're gonna talk to about Lincoln Riley, this is breadcrumbs getting name, image, and likeness. But you're getting money now. Professionals that get paid, you're expected, you still got to do your job. These kids are in college still.
I think it depends on a few things, right? I think from a brand perspective, you have to be very selective as to who you want to represent your brand, who you think is going to be able to carry that torch for your brand. And I think Paige Beckers, I think she'll be fine. I mean, she's been in the spotlight for a long time now. And I think she's the type of person that probably has people in her corner that will steer her in the right direction. But some of these other players, man, I think they're going to really struggle with it because there's a lot of talented cats out here. You've seen it now with these high school kids still. Like, I love Mikey Williams. I love his game. But, like, he's too Hollywood for me now already. And he's what?
16, 17?
17, 18 years old?
He's really good.
He's really good.
I don't think it affects his game.
I don't think – I don't know about that. I don't know if it affects his game, but – I think his focus, and this is just from, again, nobody looking on the outside. Somebody just looking on the outside. I don't know him personally. I don't know how he trains and stuff like that. But like every time I go on Instagram, I see a new post of him and designer and things like that, and everything like that. Like, when are you practicing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And I know he gets it in. I know he's traveling all the time for his basketball games and whatnot like that. But like, at some point, man, it seems like, and he's building his brand, which I love. But at some point, I question whether his focus is in the right spot.
I think that's where it's going. Like I said, slowly but surely, because we're just in the beginning stages. We're going to hear some stories 5-10 years in, where we're going to hear the coaches upset. They tired of dealing with so-and-so's at practice, but they focused on building their brand. So-and-so is late. You feel me? I think, again, you mentioned the Paige Beckers, you mentioned the Mikey Williams, people that have already been in the spotlight before the name, image, and likeness came. They probably will be just fine, but that's not everybody's case. And you got to remember, some of these people, like you said, Mikey Williams.
He's been in the spotlight for a while. Like, and again, I'm sure he has people in his corner that guide him in the right path. Because I mean, he's been in, documentaries and things like that. Like, he'll be good. But like the players that are just now getting into it, that like are just now starting to grow their following because of they're coming known off these name, image, and likeness deals. They're gonna be the ones struggling with it because they're gonna feel all that popularity hit at once.
Think about this: how many times we see the NFL players, grown adults. I just came into money and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, it's going to happen. There'll be people struggling with it to that main point, but there are people I think you can always kind of see it. You know who I saw struggling with it? Spencer Rattler. I've noticed that since he was in high school on that QB1 show. I kind of could tell he really bought into his own hype. It's about the person. It's about the person. Do you buy into your own hype or do you not? Are you self-aware or are you not? And do you not realize what's more important than anything else, which is the only reason why you're popular, the only reason why you have these deals, the only reason why these brands want to team up with you, because you're good at putting the ball in a basket or throwing a football 50 yards or doing whatever you do. It's about that. That comes first. I think that he kind of got away from that, and you saw it this year, and that's why he's no longer the quarterback at Oklahoma. That's what happened.
Kobe said it best, though. He
take care of the stuff on the court first, and then everything else will work
everything else will work itself
out.
And
it's so true. But a guy like Mikey Williams, insanely talented. He's been in the spotlight for a long time, playing with LeBron's kid, and he does work out. You can see it. He's the same kid who said he's not going to prom, right? Because he'd rather go. He said, "I'll go out on dates when I get in the league or something like that, something crazy like that." It wasn't an exact quote, but something like along those lines. Like he's very one track minded. If anything, it's a little dangerous. Go to prom, but like that's what I'm saying. Like you can kind of see it in the kid. But
hey, Mikey, man,
go to prom.
Nah, man. If you got a little shorty, y'all do something together. Don't waste that money, bro.
Money's not a problem for him.
That's my. Then why spend it on a prom with C average food? You don't like half of the people there. He's been at 18 different high schools, so he don't know them kids anyway. Don't go to that prom, man. You get in the gym. You got Drake number. Hit Drake up. Y'all get lit. Do something like that. Go hang out with Bronny or Amari Bailey. Y'all do something like that, bro. Don't waste no money on that, bro. I'm telling you, that food gonna be subpar anyway, bro. It's gonna be
Compared to what
subpar.
they used to. It's not about prom. What happens after prom? So you go to prom.
And my point exactly. He don't need a prom to have anything that happened after prom.
Facts.
Yeah, but I feel like
He set straight.
If he doesn't go to prom, then I feel like whatever he's doing is not legal at that point. Like what I mean, like you going to the when you going to the club? What is he? 17? Are you gonna go to the club?
Nah, but you talking about what happens after prom, right? Him in a little sneaky link. He don't need the prom to be the setting for him.
But like it's about the experience. It's about the experience.
He had that,
be a kid. Be a kid.
Facts.
He's been in the spotlight for a while. He's having plenty of experiences.
Yeah, I'm saying that's true too.
Shout out Mike Williams, man.
Yeah, if you ever want to hop on the show, say less. You feel me? Benchmark always open to that. Next one we got for Kappa Facts. Tyreek Hill says his Super Bowl 54 ring is like 30 gold medals. Kappa Facts.
Okay. Is
he might be on something.
He said the Super Bowl 54 ring is basically equal to 30 gold medals.
He might be on something, y'all.
He might be on to something, but my thing before you go, Miles, right before you go, ain't y'all trying to get back to the Super Bowl? Why you keep going back and forth with you saying?
Yeah.
Why you keep going like, bro? Can you focus on the season, please?
They're not going to.
I think it's harder to depending on the sport, get an Olympic gold medal that you have to train for 4 years and keep your body in immaculate shape. Not saying that he doesn't, because he does. Because getting a Super Bowl ring is a team sport. He can play like booty, and the team could still win that game, right? He could play. He could have a bad season, and they could still be winning games. Where if you're an individual competitor in the Olympics, you have to make sure you're on point 24/7. So I think that's cap.
How many games do you have to win to win a Super Bowl?
I mean,
16,
in the playoffs,
like 19,
you got to win 4.
19,
20 games.
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4.
No, you prepare for one moment for 4 years to win a gold medal, which is crazy hard.
Yeah, but he said 30 gold medals. You're not talking about
he's exaggerating, but to some extent, he's not totally wrong. To stay healthy for that many games, to produce that much, it's a grind to win a Super Bowl. It's not something not everyone does.
It's a grind to keep your body in shape for 4 years to compete against the best of the best.
I totally agree. The percentage of franchises that win Super Bowls in the NFL is very slim. There's not many. I mean, I know you don't know much about that, but I'm saying it's a very slim. It's a very slim amount of teams that win. So you got to think about it that way too. If he's got
stop calling for my Bengals, bro. I'm really good.
But the person he's speaking to specifically, right?
Is you
saying that Super Bowl ring don't compare to none of the gold medals that you saying got?
None of that. I mean, so
that doesn't make any sense though.
It's a tough thing to compare. We're doing some
it's
nonsense.
The worst comparison because gold medals trump a Super Bowl ring by far to me.
Why?
What?
Because what if takes
you saying both? He did it once every 4 years for a couple days out of that summer, and he has to stay in shape every 4 years to stay at the top of his game to even get to the gold medal.
And specifically on you saying, like you just said,
on anybody else but himself. Whereas Tyreek Hill can depend on a defense. He can depend on Patrick Mahomes. He can depend on Travis Kelce if he's double covered. You know what I mean? Like,
and you saying, like you just mentioned, that man was staying in shape for 4 years for 9 seconds, bro. I always think that's the craziest. The people that do the 100 meters, they train 4 years for literally 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's crazy.
10 seconds. So I'm taking the gold medals.
That's fair.
Baseball will have a condensed season. A condensed season because of lockout. Kappa Facts.
I think it's cap. I think that they'll figure this out at some point. I mean, it's a long off season. It's only
very
December.
long off season.
Like preseason doesn't even start until March, or spring training doesn't start until March. So they got 3 months to hammer this out, and I mean, the product has been slacking. So this is the worst thing for Major League Baseball right now is a product not out there for people to see. So I think in the end, the players will win out with whatever they're asking for, because it's a player-driven league at this point. Like, nobody cares about Rob Manfred. They want to see Fernando Tatis. They want to see Mike Trout.
Do we know the specifics on what they're asking for?
All that stuff hasn't come out yet, as far as I know. They just know that it's on.
You know why it hasn't come out yet, though? No one cares. No one cares. We don't care much about baseball. I'm a baseball fan.
I thought you would. You're mad.
I know, but I'm talking about for the general public. I like baseball. I love baseball. Okay, but I'm not the general public. The general public does not care about baseball.
I didn't. I posted it because I know we have baseball followers on our page, but I didn't.
No one cares. Like, no one. If baseball didn't play this summer, we'd have the NBA, you'd have the Olympics, you'd have the USA trial runs, all that stuff. You'd have a bunch of stuff to carry you through. I'd rather watch
football. Would be starting by the time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like preseason.
Preseason, we locked in. Preseason, I'm talking about Giants winning 11 games. I'm not even worried about baseball starting. So that's that too. But from a self-rooting interest, as a Mets fan, I want this thing to start up because the Mets are making some serious moves. The Mets became the Yankees. Like, all of a sudden, we spend all this money. The Yankees over here saving the quarters, pinching quarters and all that stuff. We got Max Scherzer, you're Sterling Marte. There's a bunch of stuff going on. It's exciting. We're not even done yet, by the way.
You back on the Mets narcotic this year?
I'm back on the. We back. Yes, you gotta refresh it. Every year you gotta hit the refresh button. Hey, mind you,
you're gonna be at them injection sites in New York.
Mind you, I never said I'm off the Giants narcotic. I never said that. I've never done that about the Giants.
No. Yet. We said the Mets.
No, I know that, but I'm saying, mind you, I've never done it about the Giants. Like,
not yet.
New York team.
Yes.
Not yet. Yeah, because they might after this weekend. I might have to get off the narcotic. I don't know. Depends on how it looks. But you just week to week basis with them. But
you gotta make sure that's that good product.
Yeah.
You can't be stepped on. Now.
I gotta make sure Tariq's telling me the right stuff. I gotta make sure Tariq's telling me the right stuff. Good stuff. Y'all don't watch it right away, right? Yeah. I know you're not watching.
Powerhead, bro.
Oh man. Yeah, you know I'm watching because that's how I did the edit.
That was so funny. I wasn't even mad. It was so funny.
I was like, yo, as soon as he said that, I said, oh yeah. First thing popped in my head, Zeke breaking up. I said, oh yeah, we got that right there.
That was hilarious. I don't know. I wonder how many of our listeners actually understood what was going on there.
I don't know how many did.
That was so funny.
I've seen when Power came back on, it was maybe like a handful of people that was saying he was watching. So a lot of our followers don't watch Power, so a lot of them probably didn't get it. But you got it. I know Miles got it. And Desi got it too. That joker hit me up and said, yo, this is golden, bro. This is golden.
That is so funny.
But speaking of living my life like it's golden, this man, Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly got paid. They went on the greener pastures, some would say. Just off the rip, what was y'all takeaways on first hearing it for both coaches? We'll start off with Brian Kelly because Lincoln Riley, I think is a better story. Lincoln Riley, that bag is something different. So we're gonna start off with Brian Kelly. What was y'all takeaways on the Brian Kelly situation?
Disrespectful as all get out. And here's why. Brian Kelly, it's not about him leaving the program to go better himself at an SEC program, right? It's different coaching in the SEC. They live, breathe, and eat football. And that's cool. LSU is a great program. It's not like he's leaving to go there when they're coming off a winning season, right? He's going there. He's going to have to rebuild them. He's a talented enough coach to go ahead and do that. In the past, 5 seasons with Notre Dame, they've had 10-plus win seasons. But the way he's leaving his team when they still have a chance to get into the college football playoffs, right? And having his team find out through the media. I understand he doesn't play a part in that. He doesn't have control of when the media releases news, but to text your team. And then the most disturbing thing that I read was when he told his team that following morning, right? When he flew back to South Bend, met up with the team at 7 a.m. the next morning, the meeting lasted no more than 2 minutes. Players couldn't even ask him questions. He said, hey, this is the decision I made. Told them blah, 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 blah. Left the room. No players asked any questions. So to not let your players not get closure, but to give themselves peace of mind, these recruits that you brought here to win a national title, and he doesn't really owe the school anything. I mean, he's been there for 12 seasons, right? He's paid his time there. But if you think that you're just gonna walk into LSU and start winning championships, because that's what it sounds like. He wants to go there to win championships. He's given up on this football team that only has one loss right now. They're 11-1, and they still have a chance to get into the college football playoffs, depending on what happens this weekend. Like, you're almost there, and you've almost been there. You know, you've had winning seasons year after year after year. So, like, what is so bad about that program, and you thinking that, you know, recruits are gonna, you know, automatically come to LSU and you're going to win a title there?
I mean, Notre Dame, I feel like for him, it plateaued because they're never going to be one of those top programs that gets respect. Because I don't give respect to Notre Dame.
Yeah, but he had the best
they don't play
recruiting
anybody.
class
They
this
lost
year.
to Cincinnati, even though Cincinnati's in the top 4. But
They ain't just
like,
lose
who else?
Cincinnati. We dogged them.
Most years losing to Cincinnati is a really bad loss.
Yeah.
And you don't overcome that. But he said something interesting. He's not going to LSU because he wants to win championships. He's going to LSU. He's going there because of the fact that it's a big job in the SEC. Sure, he has to win championships. If he doesn't win within year 1, he might, like, seriously, he might get fired. Like, SEC schools are different. Like,
Ed Orgeron just
Alabama,
won one in 2019. He's out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The pressure's totally different. What he's signing up for is a pressure cooker situation. People aren't mad about the fact that he took the job. It's about the way he did it.
It's how he did it. I just think in general, I don't think I wouldn't root for him.
No, he's not.
Looking at his history, like this is the same guy that gave a middle finger to one of his quarters, like, threw an interception.
Okay.
This is the same guy.
He's not a good dude.
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur and Robert Saleh, your coach, Robert Saleh came out, said when they were grad assistants, he invited them to a party on some Coming to America junk, invited them to the party, and then had them shoveling snow and parking people's car. This is type of dude. Like, I think this also speaks to his character.
Yeah.
He's going to LSU. Better conference, better opportunities. You know, if you have any success at these SEC schools, you could jump on to move on to other things. None of his coaches is going. They all staying in Notre Dame. Now we good, bro.
It says a lot about him. That's
We
all
off
you
that.
need to know.
We off that. We good, bro. Nah, it's gonna be hot. Nah, we good, bro. They got good food. Nah, we good, bro.
He's not. And remember, the first thing I thought about when I saw the story was after one of the games this year they played. I don't know if it was against Clemson. I don't know. They interviewed him. And what did he say about his player? He said something. He said something crazy.
He quoted a former coach talking about he thinks his players should be, like, castrated or something like that.
Something nuts like that.
He puts a lot of the blame on his players. I think going to LSU to a SEC school too, they not playing that. Go to LSU, be like, yo, we lost by 25. We lost a close game to Ole Miss, and be like, yo, is this play and that player's fault? They not having that. That's not acceptable, bro. And I think LSU built like that too, where LSU gonna be like, all right, we see you in the locker room, bro. Yeah. That's where Tyrann Mathieu from. We can meet in the locker room, my boy. You're not just gonna keep blaming us. And the one thing I can get, like you said, is the way he did it. But I get it. One of the things I found out within reading the information on the story, you know, at Notre Dame, the players as freshmen, have to pass calculus to be a part of the team.
That sounds like some Notre Dame stuff, though.
Like,
Notre Dame is like considered one of the Yankees of college football. They really are. They have a great history.
Yeah,
it's a great job, but maybe this speaks more to him as a coach than anything else. In the last 12 years, I ain't seen them. Have they been to college football playoff? They twice.
They made the national championship once.
They didn't win.
They got smoked. But
Alabama.
That's why I'm saying that the job for him plateaued because he's never going to reach any heights that he thinks he's going to reach.
But whose fault is it though? It's not the program. It's
not the program, but at the same time, it kind of is because they're not in a conference. They're not really tested all year.
Yeah, but they had the best recruiting class out of any school this past year for next year's season. So, like,
he was set up nicely.
Yeah, he was set up nicely, and that's why people are super shocked that he's leaving.
the next 2 seasons, they're top 5 recruiting classes.
It's wild. Like a lot of
Next two
good
seasons.
recruits
So,
committed to Notre
My
Dame.
man that's taking over.
My man's like Ray
Marcus
Cup.
Freeman.
He's got to keep him. I think
He will.
But what I heard is
They
he's
said-
recruiting. He
He's
recruits.
he's the one that got him to come there.
It
wasn't
Kelly.
No, the dude's personality is terrible, bro.
Yeah.
You see how he treats his players. You see how he blames and throws his players under the bus after games.
Hold
He's
up.
the reason why he's there. Go ahead.
And before we move on, just to correct myself on that quote, he said, "I'm in favor of execution. Maybe our entire team needs to be executed tonight. We just didn't execute very well." And that was after a win.
This is nothing. This is so all this stuff we're talking about, him being a bad dude, all that stuff, that's what this boils down to. Not surprising he did it the way he did. He's a scumbag. Brian Kerr's a scumbag. Let's just give it a buck. That's what he sounds like.
Yep.
He can come on the show and prove me
I mean-
and tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, he said it was last week before this even happened. He said he even had the nerve to quote Mike Tomlin, basically saying, "Unless I got the big bad $250 million check, I wouldn't be leaving Notre Dame." Then the next week he leaves.
Hey, I mean,
This is prototypical-
He definitely didn't get $250 million to go to Louisiana. No, he did not. To go to Louisiana.
No, it was
10
like- it
years,
was like-
95 mil.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like close to 100 million.
He left for a fraction of what he would leave for.
Hold
And-
up, so which is the better job? LSU. or
LSU.
Notre Dame?
LSU.
LSU's the
I
better.
don't think we're debating LSU.
LSU's the better, not because of name, not because of name brand though. I think Notre Dame means something. Being the head coach of Notre Dame means
I
something.
think LSU is better if his goal was which he's saying is to win championships. LSU, you're gonna have a better chance of doing that, like Miles said.
Facts.
Notre Dame
Oh,
winning
but-
the championship.
Coaching in the SEC is the next thing to coaching in the NFL. He wasn't able to hold his weight at Notre Dame most of the time. How's he gonna do in the SEC? And he has 1 year to do it. They don't play. They will
How the-
fire you in
How
a
the
year.
SEC is set up to go ahead and lose the Ole Miss if you want.
You're done. You're done.
lose the
At
Ole
your-
Miss if
at
you
your
want.
desk, you're done. And it's that day too.
Yo, let it not be a close loss to Alabama.
Yo,
Let it be, they lost by 20, 30 points. Bro, you
you're
gone.
gone. Lose to Auburn. Good night. Good night.
It's curtain.
Yo, that's Ed Orgeron just won. It's already over. And I know we talked about the BS he's been on the side, but
Even the more of a reason of Chip Kelly. He ain't the best of people either.
yeah.
So if you think, I said Chip Brian, but they both terrible.
They really are.
They both terrible. Huh?
Are they related?
Nah.
Nah, I mean they might be, but that's a whole nother discussion. Brian Kelly,
They had that reason casserole
Chip
together on
Square.
raisins and stuffing. Brian Kelly, you ain't gonna be the stuff that you was able to do in Notre Dame and how you was talking to players, giving middle fingers to players, and throwing players on the bus. That's not Ryan and LSU, bro. It's not.
No.
So you better win. It's point blank like that.
Yeah.
You have no choice but to succeed. Now on the other end, though, this man Lincoln Riley.
Mm.
Wow.
Mm.
$110 million, a private jet that can be used 24/7 by the family, $6 million mansion in LA. They bought both of his Oklahoma houses for $500K over asking price.
Mm.
So that's $1 million bonus. What's y'all takes on this man, Lincoln Riley? And what do y'all think about him saying that USC is going to be the mecca of college football? I think he's that money's getting to him, but
No, I don't disagree.
No.
I think he's right. I think first of all,
over the SEC? Over the SEC?
Yes, I would have left too. You think about not over Alabama. Okay, Alabama excluded. LSU with Brian Kelly, I don't trust it. Let's see.
Of course not. Of course
So Alabama's the only exception, but USC in their heyday, when we were growing up,
Heyday, yes.
Come on,
Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart.
yo,
Yes.
and then the best quarterbacks. Oklahoma was good, a powerhouse because they were recruiting well all over the country. It wasn't like they were just getting guys in the Midwest. They weren't getting these guys pushing corn and hay. They were getting guys from everywhere. So they're gonna get. You're telling me he's gonna go to California, to LA, and he's going with. He's a good coach. He's a really, really good coach. He just is. He's a really good offensive coach. His team played no deep. That could be the thing that holds him back.
But you see the difference. You see the difference between the two coaches we just mentioned. Some of his coaching staff coming with him. But go ahead.
Okay, well, the guys like Lincoln Riley, yeah, he's just a better dude, and that's fine. So I think that you're talking about he's going to have a great quarterback. whoever that guy is, and then you go on USC, they're up again. They really will become a destination. You have one of the best college football coaches of the last 10 years, last 5-10 years, going to a premier destination. You know how I said Notre Dame is the Yankees of college football. USC is, I don't know, the Dodgers. Like, for real. Like, it's like they're a premier place to go play for college football.
I don't blame him for leaving either.
And I would have left
You
it
can't.
hard.
Anybody would have.
Yo, Chipotle, if y'all want to offer something like this, I'll be out tomorrow, bro.
He's crazy.
If y'all want to pay these student loans, I'll be out ASAP. I'll be making burritos at your spot.
He made
You
the
feel
best
me?
move.
Like,
Now, he was going to LSU was the rumor.
yep.
He was supposed to go to LSU.
And he shut that down.
No, USC came in with that and swooped him away with that.
Well, shout out to boosters in California.
Yeah, because they took care of it.
Listen, I want to hear your thoughts on this real quick before we move on. So one of my boys from my hometown hit me up and said Spencer Rattler to USC. Now I said that's what I said too. I said absolutely not. Why would you go play for the man that just benched him for the whole season?
I'm mad you just brought it up on the podcast. Why did you say that?
Because I wanted to hear your thoughts.
What is there to talk about? That's the dumbest thing I
to
ever
tell
heard.
to tell that kid he's crazy.
It's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
All right, cool. But Jaden Hazelwood, their star wide receiver, has also entered the transfer portal. So I'm curious to see where he goes too.
Wait, who? I was watching
Jaden Hazelwood.
Oh, okay. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
He entered the
No, they're
transfer
gonna
portal
have,
this
they're
week
gonna
too.
have a damn good quarterback over there next year. Watch, it's gonna flip pretty quickly.
The thing with that, though, the only thing I say, I mean, you got to say this. You got your boosters there and whatnot. They clapping and everything he says. He saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring Red." He sounds like at his press conference. He sounds like y'all remember when y'all was in like middle school and y'all ran for class president, and y'all just was saying whatever that would make them happy. Yo, I'm gonna have Kool-Aid in the water fountains. That's what gave me this will be the mecca of college football.
The only thing that
Pump the brakes. They're gonna be a destination. They're gonna be very exciting to watch. But pump the brakes. You did a smart thing in leaving the SEC because you already knew the vibes. Oklahoma wasn't going to win, so you go to an easier conference. You're going to
Pac-12.
going to the Pac-12.
Like Oregon.
He's gonna run
Play
tables.
Oregon. He's going to run the
He's gonna run tables there.
tables.
Wipe them out. And
Run
that
the
might
tables.
be good enough because the last few coaches they've had have just been since Pete Carroll. They really haven't been anything.
Exactly. So
It's been nothing good.
he's literally going to be, as the older folks say, the best thing since sliced bread.
Literally.
The only thing I don't respect about what he did is
Yes.
I know you know where I'm going with this. He told his players, according to one of the players. So I forget what network it was that tweeted. Lincoln Riley said USC is going to be the mecca of college football.
His player said, "Y'all told me this last week."
Yeah, yo, that's crazy. He said, "Funny." He just told us this last week. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
wild.
He literally this is the class president in middle school. I'm bringing Kool-Aid into the water fountains. No more homework. We dress down every day. That's what he's coming with right now. He's got to say that. He said we're gonna sell out the stadiums and whatnot. Of course, that's the goal, and of course, that's more than likely going to happen. But what else are you going to say at your press conference?
They said you got.
We gonna be all right.
Nah, change up. Just don't say word for word what you told your players.
We gonna be all right. Like,
Why,
nah.
why are they so shocked though? Because like, if you're a good college coach,
You leave.
you leave.
This was supposed to be my dude at Penn State's job, James Franklin.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be his job. They got the next. I think they got a better coach.
I know
This year.
He
he
was gonna get fired.
he is over there shivering in that cold. I promise you, I would have paid them. Do y'all want me to pay for housing to get out to USC?
He would have enrolled as a student.
Exactly. Stay at Penn State, and like you said, they haven't been playing the best this year. Get like you said, also, I'm thinking this man job is on the line. Yo,
It's a 10-year deal.
what do y'all want me to do?
Mind
It's
you-
expensive. It's expensive.
James Franklin
To be
looking
out
at that
there.
contract.
And the
sick.
craziest thing is, we talk about James Franklin to get fired. They lost to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma had a down year. They were 10-2, right?
Nine
They lost to
and
Oklahoma
2,
State.
yeah.
They never lose to Oklahoma State. That doesn't happen. And no one's talking about it because he got this job offer and his opportunity for a lifetime. He did right by him, but in the process, they screwed these kids, which is a microcosm of college football.
But
Kids
who
getting
knew-
screwed. That's all that happens.
Who knew Spencer Rattler was gonna come and be this bad?
Or when he signed that Kings deal, I had a bad feeling. I love Kings, but it's just like I feel like he spent too much. I'm telling you, like I think there's crack in Kings. When he signed the Canes deal, I think he was. I really thought he was gonna be bad, bro. I didn't believe in him anymore. The Canes. Yo, you got to have Canes, bro. I'm telling you.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. Yo,
I have that.
yeah, that's
You
crap.
ever had Zaxby's?
No, I ain't talking about no Zaxby's.
Zaxby's like that, bro. We talk about food for the South, you might want to talk about all the spots, bro.
Nah, you know what spot? You know what spot is crazy?
Bojangles.
Bojangles is alright. Bojangles is alright. It's good, but I'm so used to it. I'm so used to it because my grandmother, where she lived in North Carolina, like the biggest thing over there is Walmart. So they have like 2 or 3 Bojangles. I'm like low key tired of Bojangles. But for the first time last year, we went back to Atlanta. I'm there like every year. I love Atlanta. Swear, yo, Atlanta. At one point, I'm gonna have a house down there. I love y'all. I love Atlanta.
So what you told you is basically he's black.
I love Atlanta. I love it. I love it. But we went down there and we was in a different part of Atlanta this time. So we was at this spot called Cookout. Miles. I don't know if you ever heard of Cookout.
Oh yeah, you were talking about.
Bro.
Yeah, you were talking about that.
That is literally probably the worst thing in the South and the number one factor of causing people to be obese. You can get, and I'm no exaggeration.
Like platters, right?
Forget even platters. You can get platters, yes, but you can get a double cheeseburger, a double bacon cheeseburger, a chicken sandwich, chicken fingers. You can get fries, onion rings, and these are all small sizes. Fries, onion rings. You can get a banana cream milkshake, a large Sprite, and no cap, it came out to like $13.
So I gotta use the bathroom again.
That's probably what Greg had.
Uber Eats, Cookout.
I promise you, it was one night, nothing was open. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. We went to Cookout. We got legit, no cap, 3 bags worth of food for like $23.
That's ridiculous. That's not healthy at all.
It isn't. So those people that are in impoverished areas, they lack money. You know, that's a lot of mothers, a lot of fathers every night are taking their kids
5 days a week
to Cookout, and they saving money. Their food bill might be $100 by the end of the week. You see what I'm saying? So I know that got to be the number one factor.
It's easier to do that than go grocery shopping.
It's worse than McDonald's.
Yeah.
Everything is worse than
That's
McDonald's,
sad.
bro. It's worse than McDonald's. But I'll tell you this much.
I'll do it once. I gotta do it one time to do it.
Oh, for sure. But that one time we did it, that thing hit. When you eat healthy and you eat that Cookout, that bad stuff, you eat the Zaxby's and all that junk tastes better.
Yeah, it tastes like crap.
That's like losing your virginity the first time, but that junk food. Wow.
Fried Oreos, all that.
Exactly.
I'm about to
NFC, AFC, man. We got the Cowboys game on right now. We see the up and down, the ebb and flows of the NFL. 1 week we saying the Titans are the best team in the AFC. 1 week we saying, oh, the Chiefs are coming back. 1 week we're saying at some point I tried to warn y'all. I was putting Cowboys in the conversation. That's never going to happen. We probably won't see it in our generation. Maybe our kids will be blessed to actually see the Cowboys win something again, but it's not happening. Who do y'all see? We're going to break off in the AFC. Who is the best team in the AFC?
I think right now
Pats.
the Pats are playing like the best team in the AFC, but I do think at some point Mac Jones is going to struggle against things that he hasn't seen before when playoff time comes, and they'll definitely get into the playoffs. I think right now the Chiefs are still the best team in the AFC just based on what they've done in the past. They're not playing like it right now, but I think talent for talent, coach for coach, they are the best team in the AFC.
That defense is awful.
Coach for coach.
That defense is awful.
Coach.
I'm talking about like offensive coordinator, like not Bell. Obviously, Belichick's the GOAT. I'm not talking about Andy Reid better than Bill Belichick, but Eric Bieniemy and what he can dial up for Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce.
I think they do a really good job. I don't think they're the best team in the AFC. I don't believe in them. I'm over it.
Low key.
I'm over it.
They've
Low
won like
key?
4 or 5 straight.
I know, but they shouldn't even have beat us, and they beat us.
Now, again, like we said, we've been watching the games and they go up and down every week. This is the one season where any predictions that you had, nobody could be mad at you for switching the positions because it's been a crazy up and down season. I think I'm going with the Pats. The Pats are the best team in the AFC, most consistent. Mac Jones, for everything that we can say about Mac Jones and McCorkle on the name and having a little bit of the bear belly, one thing that man does do,
He's accurate.
he's getting completions, 0 turnovers.
playing great.
That's coaching.
It's not arguable.
That's coaching, by the way.
But
That's all you
that's
need.
to the point.
To the credit of
Yo.
Bill Belichick and these guys.
Hey Mac, can I call you Mac? Hey Mac,
Can I go?
don't even worry about it. Just complete the passes, get these little check downs. 2 yards 25 times, that adds up. You feel me? So don't even worry about it. Just don't turn the ball over.
Death by 1,000 paper cuts. He's a better Tua.
But that's what I'm saying. This is part of the conversation Bill has with him. We're going to set you up on defense. Just don't turn the ball over.
Right.
Bill's like, I got the rest, boy. Don't turn the ball over. I got you. You're going to have success. You're going to be fine. You're going to have a winning record.
Right, because
Don't
it's not
turn
like
the
they're torturing people on deep balls. He doesn't have to do too much. They have a run game. They have
Just
a good
do
offensive
enough.
line. Like, he's good.
Just do enough.
He's still making some good throws.
He
Yes.
absolutely. I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just saying it's not like he's toasting cornerbacks out there.
I would,
Nah, you know he reminds you of when you was growing up? That's the girl you see come back every summer and a little bit get better. That's Mac Jones. Just a little bit get better every summer. She adds something. She got the braces off this summer.
She adds something.
Braces off this summer.
Next summer,
Belly button pierce next summer. You know what I'm
Next
saying?
summer she got the weave now. She not too bald headed. Like that's Mac Jones. Every
Not
game he
too
give you a little
bald-headed.
bit. Something.
Yo.
Stupid.
Hold on. Well, I on that note, I would say the Pats are the best team in the AFC.
That's the best team.
I think they're the best team. And I think they're the best coach team in the AFC, and I think their defense is playing the best. It's really more about the defense than the offense for me. Their
I
defense
think-
is phenomenal.
I think a team that,
And they run the ball well.
and I think the team that probably at any point can explode, and some people say Kansas City based off their history, but how the Ravens defense is set up,
Mhm.
Lamar had a bad game, and
They
kudos
still-
to him for even like joking about it and going on Twitter and dealing with all the people saying he was playing bad. He was tweeting back. I appreciate that. He knew he played bad, and they still won. If Lamar is on with that defense,
You know how I feel about Lamar already.
that's a scary Raven squad. If
Facts.
Lamar is on, they just won with 4 interceptions.
Lamar's on. Good night.
If we see, for example, Baltimore have to go against the Patriots, it's too much firepower.
Yeah.
It's too much Lamar Jackson. And I guarantee that Baltimore Ravens defense is going to make Mac Jones.
Yeah, they're gonna come.
They gonna make Mac Jones go to the bathroom like Greg on everything. You making a face, obviously you're in the same division as Bengals fans. You don't believe it.
And I was waiting for them to bring it back.
No. I'll let y'all do it for me. All I know is we seen them in Baltimore. We took care of them. We had a plan. I don't want to hear nothing from you. I don't want to hear nothing from you tonight. I don't want to hear nothing from you
You're
about
not-
football conversations.
This conversation we're having right now, they're not in it.
What about in
That's
MetLife?
fine. That's fine. They don't need to be there. We can be there. That's fine.
What about in MetLife?
Yeah, what happened there?
What you talking about?
The
What happened
Bengals.
with
The Jets?
No,
The
yeah,
Bengals.
Your 2-win season?
What happened?
Bengals.
What those wins came against who?
Huh?
Cincinnati. Who they?
That's all right. We lost. Everybody gets got. We lost. That's fine.
Like so just like the Bengals got, like the Ravens got. It's the same logic.
No, the Ravens didn't get got. We
They
blew
got got
the,
by
we
you guys.
blew the Ravens out. That's not getting got. That's not squeaking out a win by a field goal. We shut Lamar down and we locked up their wide receivers. Simple as that.
NFC.
And we had like 5 sacks on them. So I ain't even trying to hear that. And they were fully healthy. So don't even give me that, Greg.
in the
Go
NFC.
get Russell Wilson.
In the NFC. Who's the best team y'all got in the NFC?
Packers
The
easily.
Packers, yeah.
Not
That's
even up
unanimous.
for discussion.
Packers.
I don't say Packers. You're talking crazy right now. Like, hey, yo,
Nah,
he would root for the Bengals. You were on
That's
a special
fine,
kind.
that's
He's on a-
fine, that's
He's on a
fine.
special kind of narcotic.
That's
I
fine.
don't you understand.
That's
You,
fine.
your father, your mom.
You root
guys
for
are
where
on
your
a
family's
special
from.
narcotic.
You root for where your family's from. That's what it is. That's how people grow up.
But
It is what it
I'm
is.
saying though, you are far too confident. Like Cowboys fans were far too confident.
You act like I'm saying I'm winning the Super Bowl. I know the Bengals ain't winning the Super Bowl this year.
You damn near said that over there earlier.
Huh?
You damn near
I-
said you win the Super Bowl.
No,
You
I
damn
did
near
not.
said
No, I
that.
did not. No, I
We
did
asked
not.
you.
He doubled down.
He-
He
yo,
What
doubled
he
yes.
say? What he say?
No,
What did I say?
No, you.
Over there. What did I say? What are you talking about?
No, you saying I
He
said.
said the Bengals
I
won
said-
the Super Bowl.
yeah, I
No,
said-
no, the hell I did not. No, y'all talking crazy. I ain't that stupid.
Yo, what's I said?
I've been
I
down
said-
there. We haven't won a playoff game. How are we gonna win a Super Bowl? You
Thank
asked what the
Thank
Bengals'
you.
ceiling was,
Yeah.
and what did you say?
I said first round.
Exit.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said first round
And
exit.
what-
And all I
and what
did
did
was
you say?
disagree. I disagreed. That was it.
What's the ceiling, Chris? What's the ceiling? Right?
I think we win a first round playoff game.
That's the ceiling. Best I can get.
I think we get got in the second round. Yeah.
That's all I need to hear.
But that's a hell of a season for the Cincinnati Bengals after coming off a 3-win season last year.
That's huge.
That's like winning 11, 12 games.
It gives me a lot of hope, honestly.
I guess we have moral victories. I'm gonna list these 4 teams: contenders, pretenders, Titans, contenders or pretenders.
Pretenders.
Contenders.
Yeah, contenders.
Contenders.
Why contenders?
Run game defense.
Their run game is non-existent. They don't have Derrick Henry anymore, and it's showing.
Derrick Henry come back though. I've heard.
No, he's done for the season.
No, there's rumors he's coming back.
That's the only thing I give them hope. If Derrick Henry comes back, he's
There's
supposed
rumors.
to. He's supposed to
If
come
he
back.
comes back, they're contenders. Other than that, they're not. Because everything runs through him.
It's contenders. He can come back.
Next team, right? I mean, when we get to that level where we have live shows and then we have somebody behind the cameras posting clips. I love to post a clip when y'all was talking about the Rams. Are they contenders or pretenders?
They look like pretenders right now.
I'll say contender. I think the run game. It's the run game. That's the broken part of the team. I think they'll get.
I think Stafford's broken too.
Stafford's
Well,
been
if you run the
inconsistent.
ball, he doesn't throw the ball as much. The problem is they're throwing the ball too much because they run. They're a team that runs the ball. They're a power of offense. They run the ball.
So basically, you're telling me broken crayon, still color.
Yes. Essentially.
Okay.
They gotta get the run game.
Because
They've
broken.
had a little bit of a run game, but it was never more dominant than their passing game.
No. Those McVay years with Goff, where they were scoring 40 points a game early on.
With Gurley. But I'm saying Gurley hasn't been there in a long time.
Even after Gurley left and they went to Super Bowl, even after Gurley didn't leave. But after Gurley got the knee injury, he wasn't the same player. They still ran the ball with the Henderson dude.
Henderson, they had Henderson, they had Brown, and they had somebody else, and it was like a committee. They were able to get that balance, but they haven't had all 3 of them together in a long time.
I think they're going to expand Odell's role. They're going to do a lot more play action off the run. You got to get a couple solid. You don't have to be as good as you were back then, but you can be. If you have a solid run game with a wide receiver like Odell on your team and a receiver like Kupp on your team, you are a contender.
What did Odell have? Like 1 catch last game?
Nah, he had like 5 catches. He had a touchdown too. Relax. Put some respect on his name.
I think the biggest loss for them was losing Robert Woods.
Yeah, huge. Yeah.
I think that's why they're kind of struggling right now. Like he
did everything. Apparently, he did a lot.
Yeah.
Apparently, he did a lot.
He's a big part of what they did.
Contenders, pretenders, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Contenders.
You said pre?
Yeah, I don't believe it. I'm off of it. I also don't like Mahomes.
What does the contender mean? Are we talking about playoffs or are we talking about Super Bowl?
See, that's what I'm saying.
Super Bowl.
No, but yeah,
Super Bowl.
There is a big
he's not
distinction.
wired to think about Super Bowls because he's a Bengals fan. Cody's talking about Super Bowls, yo.
So we talking about the Titans in the Super Bowl then?
He's coming.
No.
He's
no,
coming.
No. Because
crazy.
then we shouldn't have been talking about the Titans.
Yes, they're contenders.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are, yo.
No, they're not.
And lastly, and they know me say last but not least, lastly and least, the Dallas Cowboys.
Pretenders.
Always
Pretenders. They struggling with Taysom Hill right now.
Yo,
They're up 20-27.
No, they're not.
Yo.
They're up 2010.
2010?
Yeah.
Cowboys fans, I know y'all be watching. Y'all pretenders, y'all will forever be pretenders. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you embrace that, the better off you'll be.
Facts.
I know there's things that's lacking in your lives right now because you believe in them. At some point, this is different. This is not a dream deferred. This is not a dream at all anymore. Langston Hughes can't write a poem to fix this. It's done. The organization is. You still have Jerry Jones there. You got Dak Prescott. Oh yeah, he's going to throw for 5,000 yards. And I said this at the beginning of the year, they're going to be exciting. They're going to put up stats, and that's it. So as soon as y'all accept that, maybe you see other things happening in your life. You might see more blessings come around. You might see better money management. And I know anybody in their right mind is not betting on the Cowboys. If you are, what's the number? 1-800-GAMBLING? Call them because you need serious help if you're betting on the Cowboys. They don't cover spreads. They don't do none of that. Get help, bro. Flag on the play. We're going to end off with flag on the play. An Australian woman admits to faking her own wedding to get ex-boyfriend to text, but he never did. Accept or decline.
Decline.
That's crazy.
That's just sad.
That's the sad thing I've heard. He didn't text back. What is it? Australian what? What's your profession?
They didn't mention what her
Oh, okay.
profession
Wait,
was.
I thought you said Australian like softball.
No,
player.
Australian woman, but the thing is, she did this whole fake wet and received a bunch of followers from it because it looked nice, but nothing came from it because it was fake.
Wasn't even real.
I don't remember the coach's name. We talked about it. We're gonna throw it in the show. We see last night Division I basketball coach on a timeout makes his players run baseline to baseline, accept or decline.
That's so
Go ahead and say what you said in the text.
There's times where I wanted to do that coaching. I wanted to do that. But I was coaching 15, 16-year-olds, a little bit different. And I never did it because it's embarrassing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so with D1 Hoopers, I think that team was an underdog on the road. It didn't look. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. He embarrassed those guys.
They were down 20 and they're on an 8. They won 8 out of the last 9. I mean, no, they lost 8 out of the last 9.
That's not okay. That's not okay.
Their morale is already down, and then you go ahead and do that, and that was a packed stadium.
If you're gonna beat them up, that way, beat them up. If you're gonna emotionally abuse them that way, do it when people aren't there. Damn, that's tough. I've been there. I've wanted to. Coaching can be that frustrating. I understand where that guy came from, but I wouldn't do that. But I get it. Some of these guys, some of these kids test you, but that ain't the way.
I don't see how he keeps his job after this season. That's out of pocket. I get it. Like you said, he's probably pulling at straws of what can I do to motivate.
That was not it.
He's trying to be on his Coach Carter.
Yeah. They probably still lost by 20, didn't they?
I think
they still got blown out.
Yeah, they got blown out.
It still happened. Just like Brittany Renner still ends up talking about she needs more money. So
I don't know where that came from.
everything is,
everything's connected.
Everything is well in the world. PJ Washington is up. Charlotte's doing well. She's down. I like it.
I love that she's down. I didn't know that.
God is good, bro. They said she moved back with her. She in her mama's crib.
That
was beautiful to read.
She ain't get the money that they originally thought. What happened with all that?
PJ went to want a settlement or something.
I guess so, but she ain't getting it.
PJ hired Kardashian.
PJ, she not getting the money. She basically finally owned up in a minute. She was like, "Yo," the funniest thing, she was basically giving out advice saying, "Ladies, like, don't try to trap an athlete. Make sure you have your own money." Yeah, you should have did that. You should have your own bread. You shouldn't have went that route. Like,
he was so public about trapping somebody.
Yeah, talking about his stepdaddy season. Guess what? It's a lot of thirsty dudes out there, but ain't nobody was that dumb to be like, "I'll be your stepdad." Heck no.
After the performance you put on
the whole book you wrote and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
God works in mysterious ways, and I ain't got no problem with it. You feel me?
Goes around, comes around.
Facts. FedEx driver was caught dumping 400 packages into a river in Alabama.
Alabama was different.
That's not funny. That might be like a system to move drugs. He might be working for Tariq the whole time. He's just moving some weight.
I'd be tight though. It says it's en route, scheduled for delivery today.
His ones are in the Alabama River somewhere.
And the worst part, they said investigators determined that the driver dumped at least 6 times.
Why was he doing that?
Making FedEx the victim of 6 property theft cases.
Also, this is a screw FedEx situation.
Yeah.
I guess you got to treat your employees.
He ended up screwing himself.
Well, you know what? I've heard nightmares about people who work at FedEx. I've heard some nightmare stories. So treat people better, and then they won't be dumping your product. And
FedEx, Amazon. Mm-hmm. I was telling some of my employees, right? I was like, "Yo, as much as y'all complaining about y'all package not, getting there and things of that nature, it's somebody on their 16th hour."
Facts.
At Amazon working. I was like, "You got Amazon Prime, right?" She's like, "Yeah, I love Prime." I said, "Yeah, you ordering on Prime is somebody having to work 17 hours to make sure your thing get out that same day."
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know if I want to order from them." I said, "No, I'm still ordering from them. I'm just letting you know." I'm just letting you know.
I'm still coordinating.
Don't be ignorant. I'm just letting you know.
Yo, that's so fun.
That's the vibes. Last one we're going to close out. My man Chase Claypool said, you know what? With the recent struggles, what can help us is if we have some music at practice. Accept or decline.
He's always saying something stupid. That guy. I think every time he says something, it's just dumb.
Him and Juju. What's what? Just TikToking and music.
I mean, having music at practice is the thing, but like
But
it's like more kind of like a reward type of thing, not something to just to make you feel good about it. Because you know what, the Steelers are a bunch of dancing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it's not a reward because the Giants are 4-7. They play music at practice, so we're not. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's what I'm getting at.
I don't know what they'd be rewarding over in East Rutherford. But
why you saying like that?
Because the Steelers didn't play. But with the Steelers, the fact I don't know. Mike Thomas doesn't play music at practice. That's what I took. I heard what he said. I expect him to say dumb things. But at practice.
Nah.
Hey, I say this.
Like a drill, a warden or something? You like a jail over there or something?
But I say this, and I agree with him. What he had the best thing. He said, "Yeah, Chase plays wide receiver.
Yes.
I'm gonna let him do that. I'm gonna keep running these practices.
He gave the blackest answer ever. He gave the black. He's black as hell. But that response, that is the blackest response I ever heard.
Yo, as much as you can knock it, they've been doing well up to this point of just being a part of.
The silence has been working.
Being a part of Pittsburgh, Germany.
Here's what I'll say.
They've been doing just fine.
If they play music at practice, you'd have to listen to Ben Roethlisberger's playlist. So that means you'd be listening to like Luke Combs and probably some other racist obscure artists.
You're gonna hear a lot of Taylor Swift.
From Ben?
Party in the USA.
Ben's gonna have like a recording of Donald Trump talking Turk and dirty or something.
I just wish, of course they're not gonna do this, but I wish Mike Tomlin would have came out and was like, we'll play music at practice, whatever you want, Chase. The real problem is Ben Roethlisberger. These jokers was too loyal and keeping them. Yes, he won y'all Super Bowl. Cool, great. But at some point, you got to cut ties like Zeke had to cut ties. At some point, it's not going to work. And at some point, hopefully, Dame Lillard sees that also. It's not working in Portland. You got to cut ties. You got to do what's best for you. This goes for everybody. We'll close off the show with this one. Do what's best for you, man. This is a general statement, whether this is in sports, Cowboys fans, cut it off. Relationships, y'all know. I don't gotta know y'all personally, but y'all know y'all shouldn't be in that relationship no more. Cut it off. Y'all keep playing around in these streets. Y'all know y'all need to go to church, meet up with God. Cut it off. This is what we gotta do. There's life things right here. And a part of being ready to cut things off, if you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. Bench mob, we out. Peace.
Peace.